thank you guys so much for dropping in and just hearing a bit more information about the KIPP Forward team, about who we are at KIPP Indy. And so I just we're really gonna like go through this pretty quickly, and it can feel like a lot of information because it's the start of talking about junior year and task and then senior year after that. So everybody should have a little packet handout, and we will of course stay for questions after if anybody has specific questions about graduation requirements, what your student needs, or anything like that. So we will just go over very briefly what is KIPP Forward, what do we do, and what kinds of services and programs are offered here at KIPP Indy for juniors and seniors, but really 9th through 12th grade. We're also going to talk about graduation requirements, what your student needs to do to walk across the stage on time in May of 2026. This will be the class of 2026. And we'll share what happens in this seminar class, this space that you're in. Every junior takes this class, and they'll take it in senior year. And we will also briefly talk about the FAFSA form. It is now a requirement in order to graduate in the state of Indiana that seniors and their families fill out the FAFSA form each year, really regardless of post-secondary pathways. So we're just gonna give you guys info on like how can you get started now to make sure that next year you're ready to go and set up for the FAFSA form. All right, our mission at KIPP Forward, this one's a little hard to read, but that little green heart on there says fulfilling life of financial freedom leading to a more just world. And that is the goal for KIPP Forward and for every student, that they would, regardless of the pathway that they choose, college, trade school, career, cosmetology, that they would ultimately be living a life that fulfills them, that has financial freedom, and that they are using that to make our world a more just place. So that is our goal of KIPP Forward, to provide like college and career support in that way to students. The KIPP college and career model is pretty specific. You won't find it at a lot of other high schools really around the world. There is a really hands-on approach to the way that we do things with KIPP Forward and with our model. So we're excited to work with the class of 2025. Our first graduating class is the class of 2023. So let me just tell you, we're getting better every year because we're learning more every year. So every year that we get to do this with another class just prepares us for the next class to come. We learn, we adjust, we make changes, we learn new college reps, we go to new schools, we hear from alumni. One of the things that makes KIPP so special and so different is that even after students graduate, May 2026, the model still follows them and supports them through their post-secondary path. So we have students that we support at IU Bloomington, at Ivy Tech, in the HVAC program, you name it, we're supporting our alumni and students. So right now, it doesn't always click with the students how special that is, but as someone who came from like traditional public high school, that was not part of the equation. So the fact that that's part of the KIPP model is really, really cool and special. So thank you to the family members that are here. It is so important that you are here because we cannot do this. We know that you are the main source of support and partnership with your students. So we cannot support them in this way without that partnership. So you all probably see us more than you want to over these next 2 years, but hear from us more than you want to, but this doesn't work without a partnership. So we, in advance, thank you for the way that you've supported your students thus far and how you're going to support them through the journey. So our KIPP Forward team, you'll have this is our phone numbers and emails too, so make sure you hang on to those. But we have Dr. Jones, who leads our KIPP Forward team, and our alumni support. And we have Miss McKinney, who also does our academic operations and credit tracking, graduation, all that stuff. We have Mr. Wallace, who helps with internships. He also does career support, alumni support with careers. And then myself, Ms. Miller, I support a lot with college and career counseling, financial aid, scholarships, really making sure students in high school are matched with their best choice and their best option. So we have a small but mighty team. You'll probably see and hear from all of us at some point, but we're so happy to support the juniors and seniors each year and to work alongside all of you. So the fun part that everybody wants to know is like, I want to make sure the diploma is set, that I walk across the stage on time. So Miss McKinney is just going to come up and talk briefly about the graduation requirements and just make sure everyone knows what it takes to walk across that stage.
Thank you. So in the state of Indiana, in order for students to graduate, there's 3 graduation pathways. It's very detailed, nuanced, but I'm going to share with you some information that will help with some like schedule planning for next year. So the first pathway is the credits. So the Indiana Core 40 is the diploma track that all of our students start on, and they're required to have 40 specific credits to graduate. And then there's 47 required for the academic honors diploma, and we do have some students on the general diploma, which requires a little less math, science, and social studies. I have met with your students just recently, last week or the week before, handed out transcripts to all of them and showed them exactly how many credits they have and where they are with their pathways. So please ask your student to share that with you because they do have that. And if you want a copy of it, you can always reach out to me and I can provide that. So we can talk more specifically about credits, but they need 8 English and then 6 math, science, social studies. They need PE and health, and then some elective credits. Employability skills pathway. During semester 1 of junior seminar class, if students earned a C or higher, they met this requirement. So a lot of our juniors are already set up with this, but if not, they can earn this by having a job or creating a project-based learning project or doing some service work and writing a reflection about the service that they've done. So I would say 95% of our juniors have this already taken care of, but if not, I have sent specific emails to those students discussing other ways that they can earn that. And then the last one is very nuanced. It's the post-secondary ready competency that shows that your student is ready for life after high school. So these are all of the different ways that they can earn that by earning the honors diploma, getting a specific score on the SAT, ACT, or ASVAB. There are some industry recognized certifications that they could get. We have some students this year who earned a certification in construction. And then we have some CTE classes, career technical education. We have 3 business classes that right now are only offered online, but we're hoping to have more robust offerings for that for next year. If students have a C or higher in 3 or more AP or dual credit classes, they can earn the pathway. And then we have 3 state-approved locally created pathways for visual arts, theater arts, and our multilingual learners. So I have sat down and come up with like a plan for each of the juniors based on their credits, classes they've taken, whether here at Legacy or where they were before. And so we'll have a plan where we schedule their classes for next year to make sure that they have everything that they need to meet these requirements. So I think we'll take questions at the end, right? I know this is a lot of information. It's very specific and detailed, but these are the things that I track. And another thing that I talk to the juniors about is how important junior year is, because the transcript that they have at the end of their junior year is the one that will be sent to colleges in the fall. So we are working to get caught up. Any students that are missing required courses, they're on our credit recovery platform Apex, and they have until May 22nd to get caught up, to get that on their transcript for a second semester. So we will be meeting soon here, probably in April, to start signing up for classes for next year. So things to keep in mind are, if you have a C or higher in 1 or 2 AP classes, you might want to sign up for AP or dual credit classes to get your pathway that way. If you are working towards one of the locally created pathways, there's certain classes that you have to take. And if you're working towards the Indiana Academic Honors Diploma, there's certain classes you have to take. So when we have our schedule planning meeting, we'll talk about all these things. Something else that the KIPP Forward team does is there are mandatory meetings for incoming seniors that we'll do over the spring and summer. And it's just really important that we have these so that you know exactly where your student is academically, what their pathway plan is, and what they need to do to graduate on time. And like I said, they all have a copy of their transcript, and if not, you can email me and I can send you one so that you can see exactly where they are academically. And then, okay, all right, I'll hand it back to
Yay!
Ms. Miller to talk about college and career
This
seminar.
beautiful space that you are sitting in is our college and career seminar room. And Miss Bibbs, who's the college and career seminar teacher for junior year, sitting right over here. But this is a class that's unique to KIPP. It is not a class that they offer at every other high school. I know the students, we came in earlier this semester and we were like, y'all, I know you probably might have feelings about this class or why you're in this class, but this class is all about them. So if they're failing seminar, that should not be happening, because this class is all about exploring interests, careers, passions, looking up colleges, doing career assessments, and they will take this class this year and next year in order to prepare all students for the pathway of their choice. So this year they're working on career assessments, college list. They're going to do a personal statement, which is basically like the preparation for an essay for college scholarships. That will all be done in this space. So there shouldn't be a whole lot. Yes, research happens outside, but this class should really provide them with the time and space to do almost all the tasks needed for making sure that they're all set for college, career, and beyond. So they have a couple systems that we use called Override, called U-Science. The biggest support to our team when it comes to college and career seminar is just asking those questions at home, like, what are you guys working on in college and career seminar? What colleges are you looking into? What are your career thoughts? So that question probing is really what we do when we come in. So any of that can be done also at home in casual conversation is so helpful to us when it comes to helping students figure out what is next after that. And then I won't go over everything on here, but in your packet you will see a kind of a calendar of junior and senior year of all the tasks that we plan on accomplishing in this space. So whether it could be all the way August through June and July for junior year, and then we have senior year as well, all the things that we're going to be working on accomplishing together, and timelines for that as well. So the main things that we do here in junior year, everything sets us up for senior year. So we talked to the juniors a couple weeks ago. I came in and talked to them about college stuff and just was like, our seniors now that didn't do the things that they needed to do in here are really being like, oh, I should have done that resume, because now I need the resume for this internship and I never did it back in seminar. Or this college needs an essay, I never did my essay, and so now it's like playing catch up. So as much as you can support us at home by just asking, what are you doing in seminar? What kinds of things are you working on? Let me read your essay that you wrote, your personal statement. That's a great way. We also do trips, college trips, decision trips when we can, to help students make the best decision. Any opportunity as a family over spring break, summer, any opportunities that you have to help students navigate or visit campuses or go to any sort of job shadowing, that is such a huge help in partnership with us. The more students are able to see what life is like on college campuses or see a day in the life of, we have a lot of students interested in CNA or healthcare. Well, let's see what a day in the life of someone that's a CNA is, so we can really see if that's what we want to do. There are some resources I'll provide about opportunities all over the city that your students can engage with, but tons of summer opportunities available for students, TeenWorks. So we'll send that out on Parent Square, but a great thing this summer of junior year is to at least take 1 week, if you can, and have your student engage in some sort of college or career exploration over the summer. Even if they have a job, even if they're doing something else, and we can help provide the resources and ways for you to look that up as well. We had a lot of students come in after junior year into senior year, and they're like, what'd you do over the summer? I'm like, nothing. There's so much out there to participate and engage with. There is a program, your students are in it now, so you could tell them anytime, log into your Overgrad and let me see what's in there. It is a platform that we use to help us track college and program applications, to help us track GPAs, to help us look at what schools your student is eligible for based on their GPA and test score. So there is a way for your students on their Overgrad account to add you as a parent to their account. It can only be done on the student side. Trust me, I've tried on the background, but only students' accounts can add parent or guardians to their accounts. So if you will prompt them to log into their Overgrad, there is a way for them to add you in your email address so that you have access to see what is happening, what applications are added, what careers they're following, all of that stuff. So it's a pretty cool feature, and I think the parent part of it we haven't tapped into quite yet, but I would love if you all would help this 2026 class to get to launch the parent side of it. I think it's a pretty cool feature, and every junior now has access to this as of last week with their GPAs loaded. All right, as Ms. McKinney said, we do something pretty special here where every single rising senior has a mandatory, I don't like to use the word mandatory, but it is a meeting, it's a mandatory meeting where in order to come into senior year, you meet with our team, and there's a lot of things we accomplish at this meeting, but the main things are making sure your student is on track to graduate, making sure that their post-secondary plan is out and everybody knows about it and they're not thinking they're going to California to college, but the family's like, no, you're not going to California for college. So it's just a time to get all the information shared between all of the people that are stakeholders with your student and helping them get to the next level. So we'll talk about their college list or their post-secondary list. A lot of times we ask the students to defend their list, to tell the family and us why certain schools are on their list or why they want to do electrician trades. We typically start the senior meetings in the late spring, take them through the little first part of summer, and then we will do some in the fall as well to get that all caught up. But we'll send the link out on Parent Square. I promise it's a painless, hopefully 45 minutes. We get FAFSA stuff done. We try to take care of as much stuff as we can during those meetings so that everybody goes into senior year comfortable, ready to go, ready to run. So having families a part of it is such a key to, again, can't do this without you, and we love your input in that as well. So it'll be 45 minutes, hopefully less. If they're on track to graduate, hopefully less time than that. And we will send information out on Parent Square starting likely after spring break that will say, here's some times that we have to start signing up for these meetings, so that you can check that box off, and then when those will be available. We typically try to offer sessions morning, afternoon, and evening because we know that work schedules can vary as well. Last part, the FAFSA. We all know the FAFSA is the federal financial aid form. As of right now, as of the information we have today, the FAFSA will still exist and continue to exist. But we will continue to do the FAFSA as long as it's available. It is a way for students to access both free money and not free money and the loans. But our goal in the FAFSA is just to ensure that students who are going to a post-secondary institution have access to financial aid, to the free money. So the biggest things that you can do to prepare now for the FAFSA next year is make sure that your 2024 taxes are filed and filed on time. That allows for it to be pulled from the IRS. And then another thing is that we will be making FSA IDs, which are basically the login for the FAFSA. We will be making those in seminar with the students starting really after spring break. One of the things they will need is their social security number. And they'll need it memorized or written down because sometimes they start guessing and we're like, no, it has to match. It has to match. So if you can help support by ensuring testing your student at home, doing some social security number quizzes, just make sure that either gets in their brain or that they have a picture of their social security card, that will have to match in order for their FSA ID to be valid and created. And then the parent or guardian will also need an FSA ID as well. If you have ever done one before, been in school, or had an older student in school, you're likely already have an FSA ID. So the homework there for families, if you already have one, would be to try to get the login for it. We will just need to have the logins and for both the student and the parent or guardian as well. And that is just so that we can file the FAFSA on time next year, one, so that we can meet graduation requirements from the state of Indiana, but two, so that students can access all the free money that is available to them and access scholarships from different universities as well. Part of the FAFSA, the free money part, outside of that, there's also scholarships available, and students can start looking for them right now. Athletic scholarships, scholarships for being left-handed, scholarships for making a prom dress out of duct tape, scholarships, you name it, there's a scholarship for it. So if your students, if you're bored over the summer, encourage them to jump on a scholarship website and start searching for the free money that is available out there. Almost every Divine Nine fraternity and sorority in Indianapolis has a scholarship. There are scholarships for places of employment. If you have parents, if you're guardians, if you have a place of employment, ask them if they have a scholarship for your student or for students. There's a lot of free money on the table, and that is an area that every year we want to try to get better. There's just so much money that is out there that is not tapped into, I think, just because the students by senior year are tired, they're resistant to writing another essay. They're like, I'm not doing it. So maybe junior year, summer of junior year is a great time to get started looking for those scholarships. There is a slide up here, which is in the packet, will also be shared on Parent Square, that will help you determine who is going to be needed to provide information on the student's FAFSA form. And a lot of it's based on marital status and tax filing status. And so if you will just take a look at that, and that will help us determine how we can support you with the FAFSA, is knowing, okay, whose information do we need here? So that is another thing that we can be working on now, is file taxes, but also just determine whose information will be needed on your student's FAFSA form. And then some upcoming dates for this year. And then the next couple slides is going to be senior year, like, prices and previews. I know you're stoked about that. But some upcoming dates for this year: March 6th, 2025, the SAT test, which is the real. I know the students have been practicing SAT probably from 9th grade. They're sick of SAT. But the SAT, which is a national test and needed for scholarships, some college acceptances, is going to be March 6th. So please, please, please be here, be on time, be prepared, study up, do all the things. May 5th through May 16th is AP testing, which some students who are enrolled in AP classes will take. And if the students score a 3 or higher on the exam, 3, 4, 5, 6, they could potentially get college credit. So it really does, that test does matter when it comes to preparing and studying for that. May 22nd, believe it or not, is the last day of school for junior year. And then officially, class of 2026, you are it. You are the seniors. You are the kings of the campus, the queens of the campus. And then August 4th, 2025 is the official first day of school for senior year for class of 2026. This one thing that I am not sure about, which we'll let you know as soon as we know, is who will be the senior chair next week. This year it's Miss Robertson. Typically, like, they'll do a re-up in the next couple months to see who wants to do that again. So it very well could be her, but I don't want to, like, officially announce anything until the school does that. But the senior chair takes care of all the senior events, the fun stuff, the trip. This year, our class of 2025 is the first class to ever do an overnight senior trip to New York City. So let's all put our positive energy to making sure that that trip goes well, that it's awesome, because that is likely going to be something, it's been really successful so far this year, so that's likely something that they're going to look at repeating each year. Not sure if it's going to be New York, but that is the trip this year, and they're going to pick a trip of some sort next year as well. All right, last one, senior price tags. As you prepare for senior year, wanted to give you some estimated, let me say that loud and clear, estimated costs for what things will be throughout the year. So we have senior photos could vary. We have been working with KIT each year to try to offer some sort of senior photo package, but there's always there's school photos, but we will continue to advocate for some sort of senior photos. There's also senior photos that you can take on the side with professional photographers with friends that are photographers can range you anywhere from $100 to $500, depending on what kinds of package you want. Prom, anywhere from $100 to $300, depending on how big you go. We had a horse and carriage a couple years ago, so if that's the style, it might be more than $500, but it should be right around $100 to $300. Senior activities can be free. There's activities that are free during the year, but also can be up to $100 for the whole year of, like, they're going to the movies, they're going to skating, these are field trips that come up, and they could potentially have an extra cost associated with them if they're an overnight trip. The cap and gown, this is a for sure thing that is the only required cost up here, is $40 standard cap, gown, tassel, and that will be pretty much a cost that stays the same and is the only required cost for senior year because of walking across the stage. So just required in order to walk. The senior trip this year was, I believe, around $800 with a lot of fundraising opportunities, but depending on where they go, location, that could be anywhere, 800, 1,000, depends on really where they go. So hopefully that information will come out to you hopefully by the end of this year, but I know they're working on that to make sure that next year is good to go. And then the last one is just housing matriculation fees. When it comes to students, especially who want to go to a four-year college, it's just important to know that even if students get full ride scholarships to school, their tuition is covered, their room and board is covered, there are always costs to getting a dorm prepared, figuring out with transportation to and from campus. So we gave a little rough estimate, anywhere from $200 to $500, even with a fully funded college education, is typically, to get that first semester going, pretty like standard for, hey, we need to get some laundry detergent, we need to do this, do that. That's just something to think about and plan on, especially if your student is wanting to do live in a dorm, do the full college experience, the full thing. All right, and then we have communication. Parent Square is our biggest communication tool. That is what we use as a team to communicate. So if there's any issues there, or we always want feedback on how do we get this information to you. We know that there's a lot that comes through Parent Square. So if you all have feedback ever about, like, hey, send it to us this way and we'll read it, or put this in the tagline and we'll make sure we read it, especially with our team, let us know, because we would love to make sure that what information we're sending out about cap and gown, about graduation, is accessible and easy to read. And then we have PowerSchool, has all the grades and attendance as well, and our students are using Google Classroom mainly, and Overgrad as the ways that we talk to them here. Text, email, anyway, catching them in the hallway, all of those things. So all the communication tools, make sure they're on, notifications on, all that good stuff. So biggest next steps, again, for FAFSA, get those 2024 taxes filed, and then FSA ID, some exploration about, hey, who do we need on the FAFSA? Families, let's see if I can get into my FSA ID if it's been 10 years since I got into it. We also are here to support you with that process. We've, over the past 3 years, become experts in trying to uncover or unlock an FSA ID or figure out how to find it. Summer opportunities, if we can really emphasize, like, getting on a college campus, doing some sort of job shadow, career exploration, or any kind of free program over the summer just to help with that college and career exploration. And then the family meeting signups will be coming after spring break. So we'll talk about that. And yeah, ask your student, they receive their transcript. We're all here. If you're here, we can print you a copy of your transcript while you're here, just so that you can get a sneak peek and a preview at that. But check in those grades and attendance this year. This, I think, junior year is academically the hardest year of high school for students, and it becomes the second semester gets like, oh, this is a lot. But if we can keep the students pushing through and set them up for a strong start senior year, there's gonna be so many possibilities, opportunities that open up to them because of that hard work. I think, any questions about all of that information that we just went over? We can pause the video too. If you have questions and you're watching on Parent Square, send us an email or send us a message.